The call came on a Tuesday. Dad, I found a great estate planner. He says we need to update your accounts. Can you meet me at First National on Thursday? 2 o'clock? Amanda, my only daughter, 34, married to Scott, 2 kids, Emma and Liam. I barely saw anymore. I didn't answer right away. Dad, did you hear me? Her voice had an edge, impatient, like I'd already said no. What kind of updating? I asked. Used to see them every Sunday. Then it became every other week. Then once a month. Now it had been, 6 weeks? 2 months? They were growing up without me. Just adding me as a co-owner. Standard stuff. Everyone does it at your age. At my age, I was 67, not 90. Let me think about it. Dad, the appointment's already made. Her tone shifted, sharper. Just come. It'll take 10 minutes, unless you'd rather I handle this through the estate planner directly. But that gets expensive and complicated. She hung up before I could say no. Didn't even wait for an answer. That told me something. I sat there in my kitchen, coffee going cold, looking at the phone. My neighbor Ben had warned me about this 6 months ago. His daughter had pulled the same thing, added herself to his accounts, cleaned him out, 40,000 gone before he knew what happened. They start slow, Ben had said. Little requests, helping with bills, getting mail copies, then they go for the accounts. Amanda had started slow too, 3 months ago. Dad, let me help you set up auto pay. You're forgetting bills. I wasn't, but I let her think I was. 2 months ago. I talked to your bank. They said I can get statements sent to my email, just in case. Last month. Do you have a current will? Let me see it, just to make sure it's filed right. Now she wanted on my accounts. I didn't call her back. Instead, I called my lawyer, Helen, who handled my wife's estate when Margaret passed 3 years ago. They're going to try to take it, I said. You don't know that for sure. I know. I just need to prove it. Silence. Then, what are you thinking? I want to see how far she'll go. Give her the chance. Robert, that's dangerous. So is not knowing. Helen, this is my daughter. If I'm wrong, I lose nothing. If I'm right and do nothing, I lose everything. Robert, I don't like this. You're setting a trap for your own child. I'm giving her a choice. That's different. And if she asks, if she comes honestly, then I help her. But I need her to ask, not steal. Helen sighed. Move the money first, then let her try. How long? 2 days, maybe 3. Do it. We moved everything Tuesday night. $215,000 from my money market account at First National to a new account at Riverside Credit Union. Different bank, different city. Only my name on it. By Wednesday morning, my First National account showed $31.17, what was left after the transfer fees. Thursday at 2 o'clock, I'd find out if my daughter was who. I hoped she wasn't. I got to First National at 1:50. Early, always early. Amanda was already there. That was new. She was never early. Sitting with a banker, young guy, late 20s. Name tag said Jake. Amanda saw me, smiled wide. Dad, you made it. She stood, kissed my cheek. Too much perfume, the expensive kind. This is Jake. He's going to help us today. Jake stood, shook my hand, firm grip, the kind that's practiced. Mr. Patterson, good to meet you. Your daughter's told me a lot about you. Has she? We sat. Amanda pulled papers from her purse, bank forms, account modification requests. We're adding Amanda as joint owner on your accounts, Jake said. If something happens, she can handle things, pay bills, access funds, standard for someone your age. There it was again. My age. What happens to my money if she's a joint owner? Jake smiled, the kind realtors use when they're about to lie. Nothing. It's still your money. She just has access to help manage it. How much access? Full access. But that's normal. It's for your protection. For my protection. And if I don't sign? Amanda leaned forward. Dad, why wouldn't you? I'm trying to help. I know. I just like to understand things first. Jake jumped in. Mr. Patterson, I see this all the time. Children helping aging parents. It's really the smart thing to do, especially at, he trailed off, at my age. Right. I picked up the forms, read them, slowly. There was a section in small print. Joint account holders have full and equal access to all funds. Either party may withdraw, transfer, or close accounts without consent of the other party. Without consent, I looked at Amanda. She was watching me, waiting. Dad, she said, it's fine, it's just paperwork. Can I take these home? Read them more carefully? Her smile flickered. The appointment's now. Jake made time for us. I appreciate that, but I need to think. There's nothing to think about. I'm your daughter. You trust me, don't you? Interesting question. Of course I do, but I still want to read them at home. He wanted this to go through. I could tell. Monthly targets, commission. Banks track these things, and he'd been on thin ice at work already. He glanced at his screen like he was running out of time. Amanda probably promised him an easy close. That's kind, but I'd rather read them myself. Amanda stood. Fine. Think about it. But Dad, you're being paranoid. This is what everyone does. Everyone. She grabbed her purse, looked at Jake. Something passed between them, quick, but I caught it. Call me when you're ready to stop being stubborn, she said. She walked out. I sat there with Jake. He started gathering the papers. Mr. Patterson, can I be honest? Please. Your daughter came in last week, alone, asked about adding herself to your accounts. I told her you'd need to be present. She said you'd been forgetful lately. So they'd already talked, already planned this. I'm not forgetful, I said. She's just trying to help. A lot of elderly clients wait too long. Then when something happens, families can't access funds. It becomes a mess. How many times have you seen adult children abuse access, take money that wasn't theirs? He hesitated. Just a second. That's rare, but it happens. Sometimes, but not with Amanda. She seems very responsible. He said it too smoothly, like he'd said it before, to other fathers, other families. I wondered how many times this exact conversation had happened in this exact chair. You just met her, I said. You said that like you've said it before. I stood up. Thanks for your time, Jake. I left the forms on his desk, walked out to my car, sat there for 10 minutes, thinking. Amanda had talked to Jake before. That much was clear. They had a plan, an approach, and Jake was helping her. I called Helen. She tried, and the banker's in on it. What do you want to do? Let her try again. See if she follows through. Robert, the money's safe. You moved it. Now I need to see what she does when I'm not there. Friday morning, Amanda called. I'm sorry about yesterday. I know you need time. It's fine. But Dad, I talked to the estate planner again. He says we should do this soon. What if something happens and I can't help you? Amanda, I'm healthy. I know, but things happen fast at your age. A fall, a stroke, confusion. I wasn't confused, but she wanted me to be. Let me think about it over the weekend. Okay, but please don't take too long. She hung up. I made coffee, sat at the kitchen table, thought about testing her further. Then my phone rang again. Helen, Robert, check your First National account, now. I got my laptop, logged into online banking. My money market account page loaded. Balance 0.0. Last transaction, Friday, 7:42 a.m. Withdrawal, $215,000. Authorized by Amanda Patterson. My heart stopped. She did it, I said. She went to the bank this morning. They let her withdraw everything. Without your signature? Jake must have pushed it through, as if the authorization was already on file. Robert, this is felony theft. I know. If you've ever trusted someone completely, only to find out they were planning against you the whole time, you know this feeling. It's not anger, it's not even sadness, it's something colder. Helen swore. That shouldn't be possible. You didn't sign those forms, but Jake thinks I did. Or Amanda told him I did. Either way, he processed it. We need to call the police. Not yet. What? I want to see what she does next. Does she confess? Does she lie? I need to know who my daughter really is. Helen was quiet. Then, how far are you willing to take this? As far as it needs to go. Amanda called that afternoon, 3 o'clock. Hey, Dad, how are you? Fine. You? Good. Listen, you should come over for dinner tomorrow. The kids miss you. That sounds nice. Great. 6 o'clock? I'll be there. She hung up, cheerful, like she hadn't stolen $215,000 that morning. I called. Helen. She just invited me to dinner, acting normal. Is she going to tell you? I don't know. That's what I'm going to find out. Saturday at 6, I showed up at Amanda's house. Nice place, big, 3-car garage, pool in back. How much of it was paid for with my money, I wondered. Amanda answered the door, smiled, hugged me. Dad, come in. The kids, Emma and Liam, were in the den, tablets in hand. They waved without looking up. Scott was in the kitchen, making drinks. Bob, good to see you. He handed me a beer. Domestic. Cheap. We sat in the living room. Small talk, work, kids, weather. An hour passed. Dinner was served. Chicken, overcooked, more small talk. Coffee, dessert. Not once did Amanda mention money. The bank, the account. At 9 o'clock, I stood. Thanks for dinner. I should head home. Amanda walked me to the door. Dad, before you go, I wanted to ask, Did you think more about those bank forms? I looked at her, really looked at her. I did. And? I'm still thinking. Her smile tightened. Okay, but let me know soon. Scott's company did layoffs. Things are tight. If I had access, I could manage your money better, make sure bills get paid, help both of us. She said it smooth, practiced, like she'd rehearsed it. I will. I left, drove home. She'd stolen $215,000 that morning, and 12 hours later, she was asking me to sign forms giving her legal access. She was covering her tracks, making it look like I'd approved it all along. Sunday morning, I called Amanda. Can you come over? We need to talk. She showed up an hour later. What's this about? She asked. I checked my bank account yesterday. Her face didn't change. Okay? It's empty. What? My money market account, $215,000 gone. She frowned. That's impossible. Did you call the bank? Not yet. I wanted to talk to you first. Me? Why? Because the withdrawal was in your name. Silence. Dad, that doesn't make sense. I don't have access to your accounts. That's what I thought too. But the bank says otherwise. She stood up, started pacing. This is crazy. I didn't take your money. Then how did it get withdrawn? I don't know. Maybe fraud, identity theft. Dad, you need to call the police. Maybe I should. She stopped pacing, looked at me. You think I did this? Did you? No, I can't believe you're asking me that. Amanda, Friday morning at 7:42 a.m., someone withdrew all my money. The bank says it was you. Then the bank is wrong. Dad, I wouldn't do that. She looked me in the eye when she said it. No hesitation, no tells. She didn't blink. Either she was innocent or she was a very good liar. Okay, I said. I believe you. Relief flooded her face. Thank you. I'll help you figure this out. We'll call the bank Monday. Fix this. Appreciate it. She hugged me. Tight. I love you, Dad. Love you too. She left. I called Helen. She denied it. Perfectly. Even offered to help me. Investigate. So what now? Now I wait. See what she does next. Monday morning, my doorbell rang. Amanda. With a man I didn't know. Dad, this is Michael. He's my lawyer. 3 days since the Friday withdrawal. Now she was coming with a lawyer. They moved fast before I could even file a report. I didn't know it yet, but the next 10 minutes would show me exactly who my daughter had become. Mr. Patterson, I'm representing Amanda in a competency proceeding. We're petitioning the court to appoint her as your guardian. My what? Guardian? You're showing signs of cognitive decline, missing money, paranoid accusations. You need legal protection. I don't have memory issues. You told Amanda your money was stolen, but according to First National, you authorized a transfer last Wednesday. I never authorized anything. Michael slid papers toward me, bank forms, with my signature, but I'd never signed them. This is forged, I said. Jake the banker witnessed your signature. He confirmed you came in Wednesday and requested the transfer. Amanda was watching me. Sad expression. Concerned daughter. All in act. You forged my signature, I said. You and Jake. Dad, you're confused. You can't manage your finances anymore. I'm taking over. For your protection. The whole plan. Steal the money. Forge documents. Get me declared incompetent. Get out of my house, I said. Mr. Patterson, the court date is next Friday. I called Helen. They're trying to get me declared incompetent. Court date next Friday. Do they know about Riverside? I don't think so. I'm subpoenaing First National's records. Security footage, transaction logs. We let them go to court. They'll bring forged documents. They're lying banker. Then we show the judge the truth. I smiled for the first time in days. Let's do it. The following Friday, County Courthouse, 9 a.m. I showed up with Helen. Amanda was waiting, with Michael and Scott and Jake. The judge was a woman in her 50s, Judge Morrison. Michael presented. First, Your Honor, Mr. Robert Patterson is 77. I'm 67, I interrupted. Apologies, 67. But he's showing signs of cognitive decline. He's accused his daughter of stealing $215,000 that doesn't exist. He needs a guardian. Jake took the stand. I've worked with Mr. Patterson for 2 years. Recently his behavior's changed. He comes in confused. Last Wednesday he requested a transfer. Then, Friday, he called claiming he didn't authorize it. Classic memory loss. Amanda's turn. My father needs help. I've tried to get him to see a doctor. He refuses. I'm doing this to protect him. She cried. Real tears. Judge Morrison looked at me. Mr. Patterson, do you have evidence you're competent? Helen stood. Your Honor, bank statements from Riverside Credit Union. Mr. Patterson opened a new account last Tuesday, transferred $215,000. The money was never stolen. He moved it intentionally. Judge Morrison read them, looked at Amanda, then Jake. So money exists. Yes, Mr. Patterson moved it because he suspected his daughter was trying to access it. He was testing her. Testing her? Yes, she failed. She went to First National Friday morning, forged his signature, attempted to steal $215,000. The bank has security footage. Sit down, counselor. Jake's face went white. I thought Mr. Patterson had authorized it earlier in the week, but he hadn't. No. Did you verify his signature? Amanda said he'd been in Wednesday. Did you check? Silence. Ms. Patterson, did you forge your father's signature? Amanda didn't answer. The courtroom was silent. 20 people watching. Court reporter, clerk, other attorneys, a law student in the back, all of them seeing exactly who my daughter was. Scott's face went white. He stood up, walked out. Amanda saw him leave. Her hands shook. The bailiff moved forward. Amanda backed away. Ms. Patterson, you forged legal documents. You attempted to steal over $200,000 from your aging father, and you tried to have him declared incompetent. Helen stood. Your Honor, we have security footage. Friday morning at 7:42 a.m. She pulled out a tablet. The judge watched for 10 seconds. Then she looked straight at Amanda. Amanda looked at me. Finally, I'm sorry, she whispered. Too late for that, the judge said. The handcuffs clicked. Amanda was led out. She wouldn't look at me again. Mr. Henderson, I'm reporting you to your bank and the State Banking Commission. You facilitated elder financial abuse. Criminal charges may follow. Jake's face crumbled. People whispered. Someone said, her own father. I walked out. Amanda was charged with attempted elder financial abuse, forging documents, fraud. Jake was fired, lost his banking license. First National opened an internal investigation. Scott filed for divorce 3 weeks later. Amanda took a plea deal, 2 years probation, restitution she'd never pay, a criminal record. She called once. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail, crying, saying I'd ruined her life. I deleted it. 2 weeks later, Emma called from Helen's office phone. Grandpa, Mommy says you're mean. Are you mean? I couldn't speak. Grandpa, no, sweetie, I'm not mean. I love you. Then why can't I see you? The line went dead. Amanda had found her. That was worse than anything else. Because if she'd just asked, if she'd come to me and said, Dad, I need help, I would have helped her. I would have given her money, set up a trust for the kids, whatever she needed. But she didn't ask. She tried to steal it. And that's the difference. Helen asked if I felt guilty. No, I said. I feel sad, but not guilty. You gave her every chance to stop. I did. She chose not to. 6 months later, Ben called. Bob, my son's asking about my accounts. Don't sign anything. I know, but what do? Move your money first, then see what he does. That feels dishonest. No, dishonest is stealing from your parents. A month later, Ben called back. My son tried the same thing. The bank caught him. I'm sorry. Don't be. You taught me how to protect myself. Helen told me she handles 3-4 cases like this every year. Adult children, elderly parents, financial abuse. It's an epidemic. I still bank at First National. Different branch, different banker. The money's scattered now. 3 banks, multiple accounts, protected. I see Amanda sometimes, in public, at the grocery store once. We didn't speak. Emma and Liam, my grandkids, I haven't seen in a year. Amanda won't let me. That's the price of exposing her. But I'd do it again. Because what she did wasn't a mistake, wasn't a moment of weakness. She planned it, recruited a banker, forged documents, tried to have me declared incompetent. She was going to clean me out, take everything, maybe put me in a home, all while smiling to my face. The only thing that stopped her was that I moved first. They thought my age made me slow, made me confused, easy to manipulate. It didn't. If you're reading this and your kids are asking about your accounts, trust your gut. Test them. See who they really are. Because the people who really love you won't steal from you. And the ones who will, they'll tell you it's for your own protection. This is how it always starts. Statements sent to their email. Keys to your house. Let me handle auto pay. Power of attorney talk. Confusion. And it almost always ends the same way. Unless you stop it first. So ask yourself, would my kids ask, or would they just take? If you're not sure, you already have your answer.